This is the Fight Fan with your host, Pete Hoffman, and we are being joined today by Montell "Ice" Griffin, who is going to be inducted into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame Saturday, May 22nd. How does that feel, Montell? Tell me, you finally, after all these years, being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
It feels great. I'm going in with a great class. Donnie Lalonde, Michael Nunn, Tony Tubbs, David Diaz. It's just Michael. Yeah, I said Michael Nunn. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to it.
So let's take us through, because you have a book out, and it takes you through the journey of your getting to the Olympics in '92. So let's just dive into that really quickly. You know, give us a little setup of how this book is and some major moments in your life getting to the Olympics.
This book is just about a young kid making a second chance for himself. My pops passed away in 1983. I was 12 going on 13. My mother made me quit boxing. So for 8 years, I just sat around as a regular teenager, growing up, hanging out, drinking, smoking, gang banging, all the stupid stuff. And I lost one of my best friends, Reuben Jones, in December of 89. And I went through a little depression, and I got up to 210 pounds. And I just got a phone call from my nephew out of nowhere. He said, "Uncle, what you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Come to LA and start boxing." I said, "Okay." And I answered him so soon, he thought I was playing. I said, "Man, I'm doing nothing with my life. I need to start off somewhere fresh." Because I knew in Chicago, I had too many friends that was doing things that I couldn't be doing as a fighter. So I had to just get away. So I just moved to LA and put things together, and I made the Olympic team with 30 amateur fights.
So, you know, being in Chicago, it's the rough streets and whatnot. You know, depression today is such a huge, issue, and where finally there's mental awareness and there's helplines, there's all this other stuff. So, really, how do you think you survive that? Because that's tough to go through that at such a young age.
I don't even know, because I know for a fact I should have went to therapy after I lost my father. It just changed me as a person. I just kind of became an introvert. I went and hung out with a few friends, and it was just something, like I said, something I should have went to therapy. I was only 12 years old, and just what I'm saying, my family, my sisters, my brothers, and us, so we all had so our own little problems. So I think we all should have went to therapy. My father's death meant a lot to his whole family. Even the boxing, even the gym, even the fighters he was training. Like, a lot of guys just didn't end up doing things they should have did because my father was gone.
Montell, again, thank you very much for joining us. And it's tough to dive into your life and to go back to that, because again, like you're rehashing, issues, and again, depression is something that is again so strong. When going through those, did you feel yourself that you were struggling as well, just to come up with as you were writing and going through the book process?
Well, I actually started writing in 2006. I just had so many people, like I have autograph books and photo albums, and people who knew about my life. They were like, "Man, you got the craziest life I've ever seen in my life. Like, you got to write a book about this." So a guy, Dan McCarthy, I was working at this gym called Equinox, training people. Dan McCarthy came in. I started training. He was an arrogant guy, and I came off as arrogant a little bit. I'm not an arrogant person, but he's just confident, and that got him. And I was training him, and he ended up inviting me. He said, "Look, check this out." He said, at my office, we need a little help. He said, "I'll give you $40,000 a year to come in 4 hours a day and just do what I need you to do." I said, "Okay, what the hell? I'm not doing nothing either." I went in his office, and I never had nothing to do, so that's how I started writing the book. So I told him, I said, even though you pretty much wasted your money paying me, thanks for letting me get my book done. I got my book done.
The Ice Life. That's awesome. How'd you get the nickname of the Ice? Tell us.
Well, my friend Brian Cooper from my neighborhood, when I got home from Barcelona, he started calling me Ice. And I never asked him why, but he just started, I don't know why, to this day he called me Ice. So when I turned pro, they said, "Do you have a fighting name?" I said, "Well, my friend called me Ice." And then when I fought James Toney with only 14 fights, Eddie Futz said, "Man, this guy is cool as ice. Like, I've never seen a guy just calm under pressure. So that's how the name got famous. But Brian Cooper gave me that.
So take us through your boxing career. You know, James Toney, you fought a couple times, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, take us through your biggest challenge getting into the ring, going through these years of training. What was your getting into the ring? How did you feel? You know, you were undefeated for all that time. How did you feel getting into the ring and then suffering adversity and whatnot in the ring?
Well, it's boxing. It's nobody has retired undefeated as an amateur and a professional. Nobody. So, like you say, you hit walls, things happen, and you got to just be a man. Forget about it. Suck it up. That's the most important thing about boxing. You got to just forget the past and move on. Things don't go everybody's way. Even though Floyd Mayweather is undefeated, he's not happy about all his fights. So it's certain things that we just had to keep going. You got to have a short memory and just keep rolling.
So you won the WBC bout back against Roy Jones Jr. So explain that to me, how that first went down, that first fight.
Well, the fight was pretty much going like I wanted it to go. I thought I was kind of surprised. I'm like, man, this dude's not really as good as I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the ring fighting him. The only thing that kind of threw me off was his speed. He's still the fastest man I've ever been in the ring with. So I give him respect for that. But I just try to match speed for speed. Well, I know I'm not faster than him, but I try to match speed for speed with him. As far as counter punching and get my shots off in defense. But like I said, the fight was going pretty good. Like I wanted. In the 8th round, I had my best round. He laid his head on my shoulder. I bumped him off. I threw left hook, right hand. I missed with the left hook. If I hit him with that left hook, right hand, he might go down. I never know. I hate that I missed him with the left hook, but that was, like I said, 8th round was my best round. 9th round, things were going pretty good. I was, trying to catch my second win. And during the fight, I saw the right hand coming. And I told myself, I said, you can either block it or roll with it. I tried to roll with it. It was I made the wrong decision, and it kind of hit me in the back of the head, and I got a little dizzy. So I told myself, you winning this fight. I said, just take a knee, and then let's win the last 3 rounds. I mean, it's just that easy. I wasn't worried or nothing. I really wasn't hurt. I was just shook up. Like my head was clear and everything. But when I took the knee, like I said, when I took the knee, I didn't get knocked down. When I took the knee, I took a step back, and I looked at the referee, and the man hit me twice. So it was dirty. He was frustrated, and he looked for a way out.
So Montell, the reason why I asked that too, because it's amazing that I get to talk to you today, because you won the championship by a DQ, and in the MMA world, in the UFC world, we just had Aljamain Sterling, who won the bantamweight division, the title, versus Petr Yan because of an illegal knee. Same situation. Aljamain is on the ground, his knee's clearly on the ground, and Petr Yan got some bad advice from his corner and kneed him right in the face. And it's an illegal shot. Everyone knows it. Fight was called. Not called right away. They tried to give him some time to come back, but Aljamain was just too stung. He wins the belt, and it's like bittersweet because he didn't really want to celebrate it, but give me, because you're the only other person that's going through the same that I can literally say is going through the same thing. How was it winning that belt? What did you feel, the emotions?
Well, this is what happened. True story. I get out the ring. I go to my room. I change clothes. I get in a limo with my wife. We're going back to the hotel. And I said, man, I was beating him fair and square. I said, I did not want to win no title on this qualification. And we went to the WBA convention. The WBA convention was going on in Atlantic City the same week, but the next day. And we went to the WBA convention, and I had about 20 of my peers walked up to me and said, bro, no matter what nobody say, you won that fight. He said he did that for a reason. Like everybody, Mills Lane, everybody said, man, do not keep your head down. Nate Miller, he said, man, you won that fight. You are the world champ. So after that happened, I felt a little bit better, but I never wanted to win that fight. I never wanted to win by disqualification, because if you watch the fight, I was beating fair and square.
Well, that's funny. It's the same thing too. Like Aljamain, I mean, it was arguable in this past weekend's fight because the cards had it like they were split 2-1 both ways. So the fight was going in any direction. But again, like it was towards the end of I think it was towards the end of the fourth round. But either way, you're saying like your strategy, you're mentally. Let me just get through this round. Let me get through this, and I'll take it to the next round, and we'll restart fresh. And you just got him frustrated. So clearly that to you has to be a victory. And how can someone shame you into feeling bad about winning a title like that? Because, I mean, really, you did nothing wrong.
Oh, I've been hearing this for the last 20 years. People say I did not beat Roy Jones, all his fans, which I could care less what they say. I told Roy, I said, your fans love you so much that they hate me because you hit me on my knee. For real. And he laughed. And he laughed about it. And it's I don't understand how certain fighters are above rules. That was
right.
The dirtiest cheap shot you could do to anybody. I'm glad I didn't lose consciousness or get killed. Because that's how he loaded up the second punch, and it was dirty as hell.
Did you ever worry about that, though, in the ring when you got in there about like, wow, because there's been so many people, in the past few years, actually, boxing has had a bad run of people dying fighting. So did you worry that a lot? I mean, about that a lot too? I mean, as you started to have a family and stuff like that, when did it really kick in?
Well, Lavander Johnson, a great fighter who passed away in the 90s. I was in the gym training with him the last day before he went to go weigh in, and he lost to Jesus Chavez, and he died. So that really touched me, and it just made me look at boxing totally differently. It's life at the box. I mean, I never wanted to get hit. That's why I always wanted to be a great defensive fighter, because 20 years later, I still want to speak the way I'm speaking right now. I want to, I have people say,
you want to look pretty.
Like right, you don't look like you box. You don't sound like you box. I said, exactly.
Right. Like, listen, we saw Muhammad Ali. Like, everyone, he's like the biggest name ever in sports and in boxing. And I mean, obviously, he had some other issues and stuff like that too that took over. But I mean, how much was that the damage that he took from boxing? And you never want to get that. And when do you know? When is the point? When did you say, you know what? Today was the day I have to hang them up?
Well, I remember talking to Buddy McGirt and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. I was like 36, 37. I was rolling. I was feeling good. And I asked him, I said, when did y'all know it was over? And Buddy McGirt told me, he said, I was slipping punches. Then it started scraping my ear. Then I was trying to slip and it was hitting me right in my head. He said, I knew it was over. I knew it was time to give it up. And Eddie Mustafa said he went running one day. And in the middle of the run, he said, man, I'm tired of this. He said, he turned around and walked back home. He said, that's how he knew it. So the thing with me was, that was kind of bittersweet, was I had my last fight at 41. I won. It was my 50th victory. And I thought I still had it. The people at ESPN was like, man, you look good. Like, you should keep fighting. But the offers I got wasn't worth it. So I just said, I'll never retire. I never fought again.
Well, listen, it's respectable because, I mean, listen, you also, at some point in time, you have to make sure that the finances is worth, you risking your life, man. I get it. I mean, listen, you think about it, boxing is still way ahead with financial security over like UFC and MMA and stuff like that. There's a lot of these guys are sitting there like making like thousands of dollars, not like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? So it's tough to sit there and like, am I going to risk my life for this? So I get it, man. The Ice Life with Montell Ice Griffin is joining us right now. Take us through, because you talked about when you wanted to hang it up, but you talked about, fighting Antonio Tarver, who is fighting. He's going to fight versus Frank Mir, comes from an MMA background. And it's like, we talk about when do we hang it up? When do you do this? When do you do that? And you're a defensive boxer, which is one thing that, like, we saw Jake Paul knock out Nate Robinson, right? Did you watch that fight? Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you could work on your striking as much as you want. That's fine. But boxing isn't just about the striking. It's about the defense as well. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I really want to watch those type of fights. I'm not sure if I'm interested. But explain to me, Antonio Tarver and Frank Mir, how do you think Frank Mir can match up against Tarver? Is he going to wipe the floor with them?
In a boxing ring, you don't have a chance with Antonio Tarver. You don't have a chance in the world. Well, he has a puncher's chance. So you got to remember one thing. Tarver knows he's a boxer. And if he loses or get hurt or anything, that he got to deal with the embarrassment. So he gonna come in with his A game, and Frank Mill, whatever happened. But I hope he okay. But I don't think he have a chance in the world.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. And that's why I'm like, you know what, like I don't want to say I like the spectacle of it, because you tell me, you see boxing in today's age, is it missing something? Is it missing the superstars at times? Is there some people that, like, we have the heavyweights, but I feel like there's something, it's not as big as it once was. Am I wrong?
I think boxing is making a huge comeback.
Really?
Heavyweights down to the smaller guys, from Gervonta Davis to Bud Crawford, Spence to Canelo, to from all the way up to the heavyweights. Boxing to me is as close to the 90s as it's been in a while. There's a lot of great fighters out here, and they're making a name for themselves.
But like you talk about Canelo, for example, I just watched that fight the other day. Like, I mean, that wasn't even competition? And the zone, now whose fault is that? Is that the zone's fault?
It's not Canelo's fault. It's the sanctioning body's fault. Because if the guy was the number one contender and hadn't fought in a year or two, that's not Canelo's fault. He had to fight his mandatory. He's fought his mandatory. Can't get mad at him. I mean, don't get me wrong. The business of boxing is terrible.
Right.
The promoters and all the people that's inside of running the game is terrible. Now, as far as the fighters in the game, it's great. Until the government take over and appoint a commissioner with judges who, if they judge a bad fight, they get suspended for a month or two.
Oh my God, dude!
It'll stop. You know what I'm saying? These judges in the promoters' pockets, and they right now voting for the guy that the promoter tell them, hey, this guy got to win, and they win. So it is what it is. It's part of the game. It's been going on forever, and until the government come in and take over and appoint a commissioner and let it be done right, like the other organized sports who has pensions and all other type of things, it'll be perfect.
Is it still that dirty? Is it still that?
You got 3 or 4, 5 different promoters who run their own little camps, and they do what they want to do. Just I'll give you a good example: Bud Crawford and Spence.
Yeah.
Bob Arum and Al Heyman. All they got to do is come together, and make the fight. But because they don't see eye to eye, and because neither one of them want their main guy to lose, they're not fighting, which is terrible.
But you know what? Think about this. Like, you talked about this earlier too. Like, besides Mayweather, really, who's retiring with a 0 next to their loss? Not there's really nobody.
I mean, you got Andre Ward,
Right. Okay. Right.
Ricardo Lopez. The guys retired undefeated.
Right. But it's different though. It's like, shouldn't you be fighting the best? If you're a champion, you should be fighting the best.
Look, Freddie Pendleton had like 14 wins before he was world champion. He was the best once he was world champion. So it don't make no difference about the wins. I think Floyd Mayweather being undefeated kind of hurt boxing. It kind of made people look at it the wrong way. Like, if you get one loss, your career's over, and that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Joe Louis was knocked out by Max Spelling before he was even world champion and had the longest reign in history. So who cares because you lost a fight?
No, but see, Montell, I love that. See, I come from an MMA world where there's people losing every freaking day, you know?
Art is a hard sport.
Yeah, but so how do you get the mentality of that in boxing world to be like, hey, listen, you could lose a fight and it be like a really good, like, dude, the Wilder Fury fights, like those were good fights.
Right, and neither one of them careers over. If Wilder come right back and knock out the winner of Joshua Fury, then he gonna be right back. Like they always say in boxing, you only good as your last fight. Just because you lose a fight it's not the end, and that's why you need great trainers and teachers to install it in kids' heads, because you got kids who lose a fight and never be the same at the end.
Right. I mean, honestly, there's got to be a better way. Like, so you think the government is the way to do it, to step in and get? I
mean, they got the most power to just shut it down. Appoint a commissioner. It'll just be so much better if it was organized. And like I said, a pension. would be huge in boxing.
Well, you know, you would know best because you did all the legwork. You've done all this. I mean, there's no unions in MMA. You know, that's something that for example, like they are always talking, they're trying to start something up, but it's just never going to happen because there's too many individuals and they're desperate. You know, they're desperate to get a fight to get a little payday, so they can't sit out a year or two and wait for a union to kick in. You know,
I mean, just hopefully in my lifetime it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like I said, okay, the state of California in boxing is the only state that has a pension. You know what I'm saying? They what they was doing. If you fight there a certain amount of rounds, if you fight a certain amount of rounds, they'll take. You know what I'm saying? If you fight, I think it's 114 rounds in California, you're able to receive a pension. What they do is they take a small portion out your purse and just put it up. Like in 1994, when I fought in LA, and they took some out of my purse, I'm like, this is crazy. But now, I'm thinking about it now, I'm 50, so I'm getting ready to receive my pension, so now I'm glad. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just all about being smart.
well, it's tough because how do you tell? Again, you talk about your background too. Like, how do you? When did that click for you to be like, oh shit, like I have to really step up of how I'm saving money, how I'm taking care of stuff? Because listen, kids these days in this world that we live in today, it's completely different. Everyone's thinking that things get handed to them. They don't have to work as hard. When did it change for you mentally? Like, okay, I really have to.
I was just cheap, bro. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you. I was cheap. I mean, everybody say, man, you was the cheapest dude with money I ever seen in my life, and I want to keep some of it. So, I mean, you know, I ended up I went through a divorce, so I had to, you know what I'm saying, I had to break off a little piece of that. But besides that, man, I didn't try to spend no money.
No, I get it, man. Listen, I hear you on that. The divorce is not easy. Trust me. I have my wife is divorced, so that's it happens, and it's never an easy thing. The Ice Life, May 22nd, your Montell Griffin is being inducted into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Incredible. Give us a little bit more though, because again, the book is coming. The book is out. Talks about the Olympics. So again, like, give us the highlight of that of the Olympic run for you.
The Olympics to me is the greatest experience I've ever been through in my life. I just put it like this. I took off for 8 years. January 1991. I went to LA at 210 pounds. I was a fat little kid. I had my first fight January 1991. January 1992, I was #1 in the nation. That summer, I made the Olympic team with only 30 amateur fights. And just the run I had, I beat 3 guys who was #1 in the United States. John Ruiz, Jeremy Williams, and Terry McGroom. And then I beat 2 world champions. So I think I did pretty good for 30 fights. I mean, everybody who saw my Olympic fight tell me, of course, I got robbed. I got the win because I cut the guy eye open a little bad. But, you know what I'm saying, things didn't go my way. But, you know what I'm saying, I'm the type of guy that's be to help kids out because I've been through everything, the good, the bad, you know what I'm saying, in between everything. So I have the experience to be able to talk to anybody and help them try to make them better.
Is it difficult for you to connect with the kids these days? Like how I mean, they obviously look up to you, they know your history, they know your career, but how do you really break through?
Okay, to be honest with you, like I work with After School Matters. It's a program after school. I've been dealing with them 8 years, and I also have my nonprofit, Windy City Boxing Youth Foundation. So when the kids come in and I talk to them, it's like, okay. But when they see me on TV, then they come back to the gym. Then it's like they wide open and they listen to everything I say. So it's crazy. So like once they feel, I've never felt like a celebrity. I've never been treated like a celebrity. But once they feel I'm a celebrity, their whole attitude change and they listen to everything I say.
Well, you're doing the right thing, Montell. That's awesome because again, like that's all we're trying to do is direct the youth into a right way. That's all we're looking to do. We want to have a good, we want the world to be a better place for sure. And it starts with you. So thank you for all you do, man.
This is our future. I live my life. So now it's time to, help out, help these kids. You know what I'm saying?
Before we let you go, Montell, is there anything else you'd like to? I mean, obviously you got the book. Is there anything else you want to promote?
I mean, like I said, I have my own boxing gym. Been open 3 years. Clarence Griffin, my father, Windy City Boxing Club in Pilsen, 2150 South Canalport, in the basement. I have my book out, The Ice Life. If anybody's interested in buying a book, it's the icelifebook.com. The icelifebook.com is my link to buy the book. And also, I'm just doing other things and, just trying to, I'm working fight corners. I got Von Alexander fighting March 26th in London against Zach Parker for title eliminator. So that's coming up. So I'm just trying to make moves, man. I'm trying to do positive things, man. And just, I want my kids to be proud of me when I'm gone.
Well, Montell, they certainly will, man. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Thanks so much for the time, man. I'd love to have you on again soon, too. And congratulations on being inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's awesome. The Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, Saturday, May 22nd. That's amazing, man.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor, and I feel good about it. Appreciate it.
But listen, Montell, I appreciate it. And seriously, just love to have you on again sometime soon. Just if there's ever a boxing fight that you want to come on to promote, let me know. Also, dude, seriously, we do round tables that I have people come on to, and we promote to talk about fights and talk just do little previews and stuff like that. I have some sports notable sport athletes that in the MLB and in baseball and football and basketball too that come on. If you'd ever want to be part of that too, I would love to have you on.
That'd be awesome. I love debating and talking about my sport and all sports because I don't go with my heart. I go with facts. So I just pretty much win all the time because people go with their heart and I give them facts and they be quiet. So that's all I go by.
You're a big sports fan besides boxing, but what are you into? What sports?
Basketball, football, tennis. I watch everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Bulls fan.
Man, the Bulls back they stabbed the best basketball player in his era in the back. Michael Jordan said he would not play without Phil Jackson, and Jerry Reinsdorf let Jerry Krause get rid of Phil Jackson. So when Michael left, I left. So
I love that, dude. You're amazing, man.
Organization.
I love it, dude. I love it. Well, Montell, listen, I appreciate your time. Awesome. You're really fantastic. And please keep in touch. I'll talk to Daphne if that's cool. And, we'll just please, if there's anything you want to promote ever, let me know.
Yeah, anytime round table, anytime you want to talk sports, let's do it.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Listen, be safe and congratulations again, man.
Man, much respect.
All right, take care.